Correct. But
no, I agree.
But to say that Arsenal, in particular, couldn't do that. Like, I'll give you an example. Mikel Arteta's just signed a new contract. £18 million a year. £2 million less than Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Wow.
That there's not another manager out there.
So that bit I agree with. So this is where I'm not married. So this is where I'm not married when it comes to this argument to anyone. What they've done with Arteta is that they have backed him now by saying, we're giving you this deal because we believe you're going to deliver the big trophies. And as I said in the video that's gone viral this morning, if you ain't picking up almost maximum points out of your next 5 games, barring City away, which you very rarely win at, I think question marks have to be out there. If he isn't beating Liverpool, beating Southampton, beating Leicester, even with the injuries you've got, that's a big problem, because all title-winning teams in English football history have won those types of games even when they've had players missing. I've seen Man United do it. I've seen City do it. I've seen all of them. I've seen Arsenal do it in the Wenger days. So I totally agree with you on that point that maybe there are better managers out there that are available. The question is, who are they and how much of a guarantee they are and how attainable are they? And
there's literally a guy...
There's a guy sitting where?
There's literally a guy who won Chelsea the Champions League sitting at home doing nothing.
So Thomas Tuchel, but this is the problem. A lot of the, I'll give you an example. A lot of the standard FC guys at Arsenal don't like Tuchel and think he's a fraud. So he's someone they wouldn't even have on their list. I hear names like Ancelotti. Not attainable. I hear
he said Simeone. He's going to retire after.
I hear Simeone, who's on 48 million a year, right?
Yeah, not attainable.
Pulling him away is almost. Pep isn't attainable. Klopp isn't going to go anywhere. Zidane doesn't want to come to England. So again, it's
okay. What about the Inter coach?
Southgate is though.
So the Inter coach just so again,
is better than him.
Guys. I get this. The Inter coach has turned down opportunities in the summer and committed himself to Inter Milan, who you could argue are a bigger football club than Arsenal. Mm-hmm. Champions League winners, treble winners.
No, they are a bigger football club.
Well, there we go. So the point I'm making is, I understand there are better managers out there than Arteta. The question is, the ones that are exponentially better and take Arsenal to another level, how many of them are affordable based on what Arsenal can afford to pay?
Yeah, I literally gave you Tuchel.
So, but again, the same guys that will say we need to have more standards don't like Tuchel.
Yeah, but hold on. Patrick, 2 seconds. Just let me answer. Terry, you're telling me that I'm just one of them now. Well, number one, I ain't even asked for that. You asked me the question. I gave you an answer.
I accept your answer, and I think Thomas Tuchel's a good suggestion. The point I'm talking about, I'm not talking about you though. I'm talking about. And Standard FC have got fans at every single football club.
I know what you're talking about. No.
But the Arsenal fans that say this don't like Tuchel. So the point is...
But how do you know that?
Because I've done shows with them. I watch their content. I see them tweet. They think he's a bum. They think he's overrated.
Okay, but if I ask you this then, if you actually...
What about Xavi?
Because I asked you...
They don't like him either.
I watched your video. No, Hamza, 2 seconds. I watched your video, Terry, where you said if he doesn't win these games, cancel the contract, whatever, without Odegaard. I heard you say that. This is my question now. Why are you giving the guy a contract? Well, number one, he's not won anything again for 4 seasons now. Yeah. Why don't you wait? Let him see where this season. If he wins, then you give him a new deal. Because now, if he flops and you have to sack him, then you have to pay him out.
So again, I understand why. Again, firstly, when you say why am I giving? I didn't give him the new deal.
I'm not saying you. I told you.
I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that point. I understand that logic. But this is the problem with a lot of these arguments, is everybody's looking at how they view things as opposed to trying to understand the other side. Arsenal don't think they're showing a lack of ambition because they believe in him. They believe he's going to... So the point, this is what it comes down to. If I believe hiring you as my editor is going to make me make the best videos in the world, it doesn't matter that the other 3 people on this panel think you're crap at editing and go, that's a lack of ambition, Terry, you shit. I don't think I'm lacking ambition because I think you're brilliant. And that's where
there's a difference.
There isn't a difference.
No, but there is, because
Arsenal don't believe Arsenal's board in isolation to this Arteta deal, don't believe they're lacking ambition giving him a new deal because they believe he's going to be great.
No, I agree, but I'm telling you, but here's a complete difference. That geezer who they're believing in, number one, for 4 seasons, hasn't won anything. And I'm telling you now, he had 1 year left on his deal before they gave him this new deal. Isn't that true? 1 year left. Am I wrong?
No.
Okay.
10 months.
This season.
Yeah,
This
10
season,
months. So he had
This season.
one other season he could go. Why don't you wait, see what he does? If he delivers, then you give him a new deal. Because now if you've given him, if you give him a new deal now,
again. So I can answer that question if I'm Arsenal's board. Arsenal's board, not me, not you. Arsenal's board. You agree with me? They believe in him, right?
They do.
Yeah, apparently they do. Yeah.
So they believe in him. So if they wait till the end of the year, and my God, he's won the Champions League, they go, bro, I want to give you a new deal. And he goes, too late. And he says, too late, guys. In March, I signed a pre-agreement with Real Madrid. I'm off. Then
We're never
Arsenal
going to go for it.
So again, you're removing the situation from the hypothetical scenario, and that's the issue. Is that I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm stating that we as football fans are sometimes so one-track minded with, it's 100% lack of ambition. That's because you're viewing it through your lens and you are not standing in anybody else's shoes and or looking at the ups and downs.
Yeah, but I can't stand it. Yeah, but I can't stand on anyone else's shoes. I can only stand in my own shoes.
No, that's nonsense in life. You absolutely, you're telling me you don't have any ability to show empathy or understanding from somebody else's perspective.
No, of course.
Well, there we go.
I understand your point. I'm just saying you explained to me about the money that they don't generate the money the likes of we and City do and all that. Yeah. I agree with that. But then I'm asking you, if this now all goes to crap, they flop, and now they have to sack him and pay him off. Isn't that now unnecessary money? Just
majority of Arsenal fans are happy with second place.
Hamza, sorry, because there's a really good question. Hamza, it's a really good question, and I like the question. And you're right. It's a risk. I am not in a disagreement that giving him a new deal is a risk.
I'm sorry if I pissed you off. I'm just
you haven't pissed me off at all. Do you know what's annoying? It's really good questions, and it's sometimes hard to answer. I'm just passionate about this stuff.
I'm sorry.
I am not. I know it's fine. I love it. I am not in disagreement with you on lots of what you've said. Same as Brandon. I don't disagree with some of the points that are being made. I think what we're not kind of getting to, and I want to round it up a little bit now, is that I am talking about this overarching view of let's just do what City do. Let's just do what Real Madrid do. I think as a broad statement, that is absolutely ridiculous because I can't live my life like Elon Musk does. I physically can't do what he does, no matter what I am, because it's there. And that's the problem that I've got with that general approach. It doesn't mean every decision Arsenal make couldn't have been better. That's a different conversation, in my opinion. Look, I want to get through these super chats, guys. I'm so over time. I meant to be spending some time with the kids. I'm really, really sorry. This here says Arsenal is like Valencia competing with Barca and Real Madrid. Maybe we can compete short term with shrewd sign. Well, what you can do is you can good signings, keep growing, keep getting. It's an exponential growth to get to that level. The same as Man City. Terry showing ambition doesn't mean spending the same as City, Madrid, or City over a long period of time. It does mean that because over a long period of time, say Arsenal's team keeps getting better and better. Eventually, there's going to be players in that team that are going to be like, well, I want to be paid like the best player in the world. There comes a point where unless their income grows to the same level, you literally can't do it. So money and continual ambition go hand in hand in football, like in all sports. They absolutely do.
At the same time, though, Tel, we have spent vast amounts of money over the last.
Brandon, you've overspent us since 2020. You've spent more than us since then.
But absolutely. But you've also you have. I mean, Real Madrid caught up this year when they bought Mbappe. It's just not shown as transfer spend. It will show up on their trading account. So
no, but you see my point.
No, I understand that, but it's all about when and how. So with Man City, a great example with Man City is City. A lot of City's top players now, they bought in a period where top players were being sold for sort of 40, 50, 60 millions. And they bought quite a lot of them at that rate, who are now, some of them past their best now, but some of them were at some point when all the inflation happened worth 150, 200 million.
How much did they pay KDB? How much did they pay for it?
Is it 50 million? 40, 50.
Oh,
but when they
what a steal.
Yes, but not yes and no.
That time it wasn't.
When they bought it, it was absolutely huge, and that's the point. It's the timing. Like Man United had this. It's why, although we spent quite a lot of money, what really helped us was the class of '92, because for a decade or two, the core of our team cost us nothing, and we didn't have to then, in a 5-year period when you move forward, we still had Paul Scholes. Imagine Paul Scholes was in his 30s in the 90s, and then we had to replace him in the early noughties. That would have been a 30, 40 million, 50 million pound signing to replace him, but we didn't need to. You think about how much you bought Cristiano Ronaldo for at Real Madrid. Okay, that was 90 million when that was a lot of money. Look how much Mbappe's cost you. Now, it has cost you 200 to 300 million on signing on fees. It's just not a transfer fee. That's what happens. And if you want to stay at that level, is to replace these. It's why Liverpool have dropped off a little bit, because what they really had to do to replace Mane and replace these guys is go out and drop not 80, 90, 100 million on forwards and get the right ones. The problem is they tried it, went wrong. Now there's not as much money left.
Because it didn't spend the money rightly.
And this is why, this is why over a long period of time, no one can do what Real Madrid do, barring probably Man City, Man United, and a couple of others, because everybody will buy duds, including Real Madrid, including Man United. But unless your income is really, really high, you can't recover from those mistakes as quickly and easily.
But didn't Hussam just say that they can spend like 300, 400 million if they wanted now without breaking FPL? I think Hussam made
Liverpool's is a little bit different. Liverpool is sometimes a little bit different there. Look, I want to thank. There's a few more super chats I've got to do here. Absolute rubbish about the Cronkies. They are like a Bowley. Cronkies Nuggets pay Nico whoever hundreds of millions a year. Arsenal FFP makes sense. This ambition talk is rich, considering you all ridicule Chelsea every chance available. Well, again, they're spending money wisely as well, though. Arsenal's biggest issue is our LHS. I don't know what that means. Which is underperforming drastically compared to our striker and RHS. You need to tell me what that means. I don't know what that means.
Sorry, I think you're saying left side.
Left hand side. Right. There we go. That makes a lot more sense now. Always a fan of DH's takes, but this ain't it. Who's DH?
Don Hussam.
I'm really bad when it comes to abbreviations. Foden clears. Nunez, Diaz, Gakpo combined. Drop off in after him. Yeah, I hear you on that one as well. Henry, Spurs fan. They spent more than the other top 6 sides since Ange was manager. Yeah, they have. But also their income, Spurs, is more than Chelsea's, more than Arsenal's, more than Juve's. They're the 8th biggest income. I mean, their income is on average over 120 million more a year than Arsenal.
Terry, you can already ask questions there. How have Arsenal allowed that to happen? How have they not been able to? How have they allowed Tottenham to overturn them in stuff like that? That shouldn't even be possible.
Yeah, well, this is where I agree with. This is where I agree with Brandon, though. When it says a lot of City sales come from their academy, which tons of investment. Well, this is one thing. What I would say is, well, then Arsenal need to start investing more in their academy so that they can do this, but you're not going to see that in the short term. That is a longer term plan. So that element I completely and utterly agree with. Boys, look, it's been a really